Hey guys, welcome back to episode 7 of Take That L, podcast we do weekly. Today we're going to be having my brother Owen as a guest. Going to be awesome. He's very knowledgeable on the Marvel Cinematic Universe and sports games, and that should be pretty handy for some of the topics we have coming later on. If you like this content, make sure to leave a comment on our YouTube. If you want to see us give our opinion on something, even if we look stupid, we're still going to do it, or just give some honest reactions. And we can go right into what Curtis has to bring to the table this week.
Yeah, so this week, big event we all look forward to is E3. For the past couple of years, Sony's been skipping out on it. They've been doing a lot of virtual conferences and everything. For E3 2023, we have some reports that the big three, Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony, plan on skipping out this year. It's been confirmed that Sony and Nintendo definitely aren't coming. For the last couple of years, they haven't really made a big impact. But for Xbox this year, Phil Spencer's kind of mixed, where they said they'll be there trying to help him out, but they don't plan on having a booth or anything there. So it's kind of setting up the future for these type of events, which I would assume I've never been to one, but they got to be pretty cool in person to see everything. So unfortunately, they're not going to be there, which I wonder if it's going to slowly die down and just do smaller showcases like Xbox just had their Bethesda showcase. But let us know what you think. See if anybody else has anything to say.
If I can cut in there, I think this plays a lot into some of the other events that have been cutting down in size as well. Even with like BlizzCon, which has been a huge thing in past years, they skipped out on doing it for the years after COVID, and they only just recently started organizing them again. And even then, they're way smaller scale than they used to be. So I think everything took a hit during COVID, and I don't know if we're ever going to see them go back to the same size that they used to be. But we'll see. Because they're really cool.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, dude. I mean, it's got to be cool just sitting like in the big stadium, seeing everything on the big screen that come out. It's like, dude, we have no idea what's coming up, except for leaks that we have now, which is kind of annoying. But see everything up on the big screen, be like, yeah, this is our next game coming up. This is what we're doing. All the booths are set up. I mean, it's got to be a pretty cool experience, but kind of sucks it's going away.
Yeah. I mean, going on from the Blizzard stuff, I hear that there's some Overwatch 2 matchmaking changes that are coming into place. So I know us especially, we had a lot of problems at the beginning of Overwatch 2 where we were winning game after game, like 7 games in a row, and we were still getting put in like Bronze 5, which is just garbage tier. And apparently we learned later on that was because our internal MMR, which is basically what the game decides your skill rating is not what you get to see. So the Bronze 5, the Silver 5, Gold 1, whatever, you see something different than what the game has actually determined that your skill level is. So even though it says that we're Bronze 5, we could be playing at Platinum level, from what I've heard. Things like that, or Diamond level, or whatever the equivalent is. And almost universally, this has been hated as a change for Overwatch 2, because it used to be a lot more transparent. And they're coming out with the new season for Overwatch 2 saying, we hear you guys, we're going to change our internal matchmaking so that it's much more clear as to what your ranking is. And they're also going to be cutting down on how many games it takes to update that rank. So you don't have to play 7 slogfest games in a row only to be placed right back into bronze. You get to play 5 games now or 15 losses, and then it's going to update. I still think it should just update every game like it did in the past. I don't see why they made that change either. But we'll see if the fans like that type of change.
No, I mean it's
nice
good.
But...
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I think it is nice that you are seeing, like, with a game like that, though, they are taking community feedback and what the players are asking for, and then like moving forward with it, because a lot of games don't even do that. So hopefully at least they'll get some good feedback from the new updates, and they can update, like you said, from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's, again, like you said, nice to see that they're doing it. It's something they don't traditionally do. Like, Blizzard's notoriously bad at listening to community feedback and kind of just doing their own thing. But I guess this kind of gives Overwatch 2 a little bit of hope that, I think people still don't like necessarily the business model behind it. Like, yes, it's a free game, but then you also don't have all the champions you can need to win the games. So there's still like a little bit of pay to win aspects to it, but that's kind of the price you have for a free game. But yeah, I mean, overall, interesting to see how these games are kind of changing their matchmaking system. I feel like League of Legends also changed theirs to where it's not, you don't get knocked down quite as far, so it's not quite as grindy. Connor, is that right, or is I
Sort
wrong
of,
on that?
yeah. I haven't had too many issues with their matchmaking system. Like, the one thing I always hate with secret MMR ranking is that every time they want you to get to that 50% win rate, it means sometimes you're going to steamroll and sometimes you're going to be the one steamrolled. And that is no exception. The moment you start winning 7 games in a row in League, you can tell they're starting to put you up against people who are way better than you, and I don't like that. But it is what it is.
Mm.
I think it is good that Overwatch is listening to fans. I just wish it wasn't so clear cut that they're putting way more effort into making sure the skins are in the shop daily.
Yeah.
And updating that.
It could have put.
But I mean, at least it's better than what happened to some of the Marvel games. Like, I know, Owen, you played Marvel's Avengers, right? Or
Yeah,
one
and
of the
just the microtransactions in the game are just like crazy because that's pretty much their whole base model. Like, never actually getting any DLC on there or additional content outside of like repurposing the existing character models and then just throwing them out there as new characters. So
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, still never got my Overwatch account fully fixed, so I still need to win, 60 ranked games to even, or 60 normal games to get into ranked. And nobody wants to play with me.
It just
God,
does
was that
not.
a shit show, man?
It doesn't feel player friendly. That's for sure.
No.
Quick play sucks, so sorry.
Getting out of the game space for a little while. Haven't you guys been watching The Last of Us? Season 2 got confirmed recently. I just want to put some feelers out there, see what you guys think of the first season so far.
I haven't watched any of it yet. I'm kind of waiting until more of it gets out so I can kind of watch it in succession and not, kind of keep up to date with it and not forget everything that happened. Not that I would, but kind of like watching
which
all
of
of
you
it at
guys
once.
played the games?
I played the first one.
Okay.
yeah, but the first one, then a little bit of the second one as well.
Okay. Did you play the first one, Chris?
A long time ago. I don't really remember too much on it.
So we all played it. So we're all we all know what to expect. I personally, I'm only on episode 2 right now. I'm not going to do any spoilers. I really enjoy it. I think that they have properly adapted the important stuff, and the changes that they have made have not been too negative in terms of like they're not changing stuff just at a whim and saying, okay, screw it, I'm making my own thing. They seem, from my perspective, that they're keeping faithful to it and making a good product. But I don't know what you think, Owen, since I know you've watched a few of them.
Yeah, definitely. It's been interesting to see because, as I heard that the show was coming out and everything, I kind of went back and replayed a little bit of the game and watched some of the walkthroughs too. And I think even Neil Druckmann, the creator of the games, he had come out and said that in a lot of places they were going to tweak things where they thought it was appropriate and then, try and stay as faithful to the source material as possible. And I really do feel like they have done that so far. And it's crazy to see the results when you stay faithful to, the original adaptation, whatever that may be and whatever media it is in. And I mean, you see the numbers. I think I saw that like for the first 2 episodes, they had like an average of 5.7 million viewers, which it just shows. And I think I've been telling everybody this. It looks to me that this is what like The Walking Dead could have been if it had started out with that kind of budget.
Yeah.
Well, it's like because it keeps the serious tone. I think that, like Neil Druckmann said, they've tweaked things a little bit where they can and where it felt like it was appropriate. And I think, staying close to the source material is really paying off so far, especially with the tone of everything, the portrayal of the characters by the actors. I think has been really, really solid so far.
Yeah. And it's good to see Pedro Pascal in another leading role. I think he's a really good actor.
Protective father
Yeah.
role as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, keeping up with the hype, though, I know that Ant-Man comes out too, Quantum Mania. Some expectations on that, maybe some lore implications for Phase 5. I know everybody here is a big fan of Marvel, some movies more than others, but I know that there's big expectations coming into Phase 5 that were definitely kind of a letdown of Phase 4. There's been a lot of stinkers in Phase 4, I think. So Ant-Man looks good. I don't know what you guys think.
I mean, yeah, I'm excited for Ant-Man. Phase 4 was like a 50-50 shot, or like 60-40 in terms of like okay movie to good movies. But Ant-Man kind of kicking it off. Is Ant-Man the first Phase 5 movie, or is it the second Phase?
I believe it is the first five. First
Yeah.
out five, yeah.
I don't know. I personally think Ant-Man's going to die in this one, or he's like not going to play the role anymore, and then they're going to kind of give it to his daughter to kind of pick up the mantle.
Good
But-
day. Yeah.
I don't know how
That'd
you
be
guys feel about that.
That would just be like so funny if he got stuck in the quantum realm again.
Yeah.
That's just how like each movie keeps on ending. I'm like really hyped for this movie, and I feel like with the previous two Ant-Man, it was more of like almost that Spider-Man kind of feel to it, you know, like the smaller stakes kind of movie, and now it feels like they've really amped it up for this one with the introduction of Kang. And I kind of liked his portrayal in Loki and like the He Who Remains aspect of everything, but I was just talking to a couple of my buddies about this. Like, I'm ready to see the like menacing Kang, the guy that's going to be set up as that next big bad for this next phase of Marvel movies. Because, like you said, Noah, it was just like 50-50 this last phase, and whether it was going to be a hit or, you know, well received. And so I'm ready to like just get back to how Marvel used to be. You know, just that machine where every new movie's just, you know, pushing that juggernaut of Marvel forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I think they're going to kill off Ant-Man in this one to like really establish Kang as like this badass that's like not going to fuck around, and like he'll just use people to get what he wants. But kind of curious again what Curtis and Connor think, because I know you guys are just as into it as we are.
I think the difficulty for any newer Marvel villain is, can it live up anywhere close to Thanos? And from what I've seen, I don't know if Kang is going to reach Thanos levels of cool, but I think he could be close. Because, and let me caveat that, I think the only villain who might be able to come close to Thanos levels of intimidation and just cool factor might be Doctor Doom. But I don't think we're going to see him anytime soon. And if we do, I'm hoping they don't get some garbage actor to do it. But I think with all the setup that Kang has and some of the storylines they could get into, it could be very, very close to Thanos levels.
I can agree with Connor on that one. I mean, if we go back and look at the Phase 4 Marvel movies that have recently come out, they have all been just, not to say they're mediocre, but there hasn't been one that's just been like a solid banger that was just like, man, they're
Okay, that's
doing
just
a really
not
good
true.
job.
That's just blatantly not true.
Hold on, let me get to it. Thor: Love and Thunder, I really liked. That was the last one that I really enjoyed.
Can we talk about that real quick? Okay. Controversial opinion here incoming. I really liked Love and Thunder 2. I know that the internet hated that movie. I know that people say it was garbage. I walked out of that movie and I was like, whoa, that was actually really fun. I just liked that he wasn't Fat Thor anymore, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was like, can we all agree that everyone would have loved it at the end of Endgame when the lightning strikes him at the beginning of the battle, that his like fat form just disappeared and he became shredded Thor again? Wouldn't that be so cool?
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Yeah,
I think with the kind of like the larger issue that's been going on right now with their movies is it's not that they're bad, it's that they're taking the legacy characters from the previous, you know, phases, and they're almost like knocking them down a peg to build up the new heroes for this next phase, when I think you can have it both ways.
Yeah, I can say. I mean, I don't know what you guys thought about Shang-Chi or Eternals and those kind of things, but Eternals, the story for me it seemed all
Eternals
all
was the
place.
worst Marvel movie that's been made so far, and I don't think anyone. It's worse than Captain Marvel, which is universally thought of as like one of the bottom tier ones. But Shang-Chi was probably one of my favorites. Like, I feel like it's a top 10 Marvel movie. I thought the fight scenes in that one were really, really good.
Yeah, I just didn't like Awkwafina. She really ruined it for me.
I like Shang-Chi as its own standalone. I didn't think it fit amazingly well into the MCU. I thought it was like the only thing that really fit is like, okay, this is his intro story, and then at the end, oh wow, he's with Doctor Strange now. But no, I didn't. I liked it for what it was, but I didn't think it really needed to go any further than that to be a good standalone movie.
Well, the way that kind of people are thinking about Shang-Chi, like there's a lot of conspiracy theories that like the rings are part of this new Ant-Man Quantumania movie, because like in all the previews they have like the rings as like part of the Quantum Realm City. So people are thinking that there's like some aspect of like Shang-Chi being related to the Quantum Realm. I don't understand how that necessarily fit in. Like I feel like it's a stretch a little bit, but I don't know. I feel like they interlocked them pretty well at the end to where like kind of made sense, because it's like a whole new thing. It's almost like when Doctor Strange came into the MCU, where it's like this whole like other mystical side had never been explored up till that point, and they kind of brought it together at the end. I feel like, but
and do you have any speculation on that? Is there any comic storyline where the rings are involved with the quantum realm at all? Is it a magical realm dimension? It is its own dimension, right?
Yeah, so the quantum realm, to my understanding in the comics, is actually the microverse, but because some like weird rights issues with the comics, and then who owns the rights, they couldn't use that name. So yeah, it's basically like a subatomic realm, in between different dimensions, and that's how it kind of acts as like the gateway between dimensions. I'm very interested to see about like the bangles from Miss Marvel and some of the other tech, the rings from Shang-Chi, because they did mention, I think, in Shang-Chi and in Miss Marvel that they were way older than anything, and that's a big thing with Kang, with all his like time traveling hijinks. He's like going and like placing his tech all throughout history. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that story. Like I said, at this point, the story is less important to me than I just want a menacing villain. Like, I want a guy that is not playing around, and like there's stakes to this next phase. Because that's what I feel like we kind of got away from, is they focus more on the humor and the light-hearted aspect of everything and really dove into that, versus like there's no stakes to the movies. It's the Marvel, like, nobody dies universe. And I really want to see them kind of get back to that, more in line with like Avengers 1 and 2.
I totally get that. I feel like after Infinity War, there was like, it felt like these stakes hit hard, and then the moment that Endgame hit, and this is my permanent gripe with Endgame, is it just totally made everything feel like, well, who cares now? Because you can stop half of the universe from dying in canon, just and then it's not happening. And then, so why did the deaths ever matter? Why can't they just assemble the Dragon Balls and revive everybody? Like,
well, and now it gets worse with the whole like multiverse thing, because now you can just bring in variants, and that's
exactly
like,
the Flash. Has anybody seen the Flash?
Well, yeah,
I love the Flash. He's my favorite DC.
Having Harrison, anybody who's seen the Flash, all those YouTube videos saying, talking smack about all the Flash seasons, this is what I'm talking about. You cannot bring the same actor, no matter how good he is, to play 12 different characters every season. It doesn't work. Just have him die. It means so much more.
Yeah. One other thing on that is IMDb. I don't know if it's still up there, but it said Robert Downey Jr. was listed on the cast for Ant-Man Quantumania.
Okay, the only way that would work is because in Ironheart he's a hologram. If they have him be a hologram, that is fine, because he has his consciousness in hologram, like Superman's dad.
I have heard some people predicting that they bring him back as like the new Jarvis AI, and he downloads his consciousness, something like that, which I think could be like a good way to keep him on. I just don't know if they'd want to fork out the $20 million a year per movie to keep him on as a
Robert Downey Jr.,
a glorified voice actor.
Quick side note: did you guys hear about the Rick and Morty voice actor?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god,
that sucks.
What happened? Sorry, I haven't heard about this yet.
He's accused of a felony for domestic abuse.
Oh god.
And then
there was
kidnapping charges too, something. No, forceful imprisonment.
Yeah, I saw there was a like he had gone to court a couple of years ago with like his ex-girlfriend, and that had come to light because some like direct messages on, I think it was on Instagram, had been released of some girl that he was texting that was underage. So like all this stuff about the assault came out because like this stuff came out. So it's, yeah, I mean, that sucks for the show. I heard they're going to continue it, but I mean,
I've seen so many memes like of people doing like AI voices of them. Be like, "Oh, Rick, I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this one. I'm going to jail." Like that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't know. He's getting hit with the whole triad of things popular people should not do.
I mean, is it going to be like one of those Ezra Miller situations where they're just going to do it anyway, even though
I was
everyone
just
hates
going to
him
bring
for
that
it?
up.
I think he's gonna get charged with a felony, and then he's
Okay.
just gonna straight up go to prison.
Okay.
I don't think he's going out.
When are they going to recast Ezra Miller, man? I don't know if you guys saw Black Adam, or if you did and you liked it or didn't like it, but DC has just been in a rut for the
they
last how
killed
many
it.
years of bad casting, and now
Bad
that we bring
casting
up
wasn't
Ezra
the
Miller.
issue. Bad casting was not the issue.
Some of it was, but
Henry
for the most part,
Cavill, Henry
I think-
Cavill, Jason Momoa, Gal Gadot,
yeah, they got those on lock. Those
even
great
Dwayne,
actors for the
like,
part.
The Rock, not bad.
I liked him as
But-
Black Adam,
Yeah,
honestly.
exactly.
Yeah, I thought he was okay, but
So the casting isn't the issue. It is the story line thing. Basically, what Kevin Feige's role, they didn't have that at DC done well. Like
Okay,
the larger
sure.
orchestration of the story.
let me rephrase this. I meant the characters. They make them seem so weak when they portray their casting
Okay.
in the films.
I feel like
I
they
think it's
had
just
so
too many
many-
cooks in the kitchen, honestly.
Yeah.
But go
Yeah,
ahead.
and no, to kind of that point, I think that they've had so much upheaval at the top, you know, with the studio executives and then, you know, buyouts and mergers, and like it's hard to put together a cohesive vision when you have, you know, so many cooks in the kitchen, like you said, and then it's changing hands every couple of years. So, they, like Noah said, like I think they've had all the right people to play these roles. It's just been like the upheaval at the top, and then almost like a crisis of conscience on what they are like going for, because it's like you want to have this dark gritty tone, but then you want to be more like Marvel, and then oh no, we're going back to the darker stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what James Gunn does with that whole universe.
I
Yeah.
actually saw a news article saying that one of his friends who played Drax the Destroyer, I think, Batista, James
Dave Bautista.
Batista.
Dave Bautista. He
Yeah.
was even saying that he had been in talks with Gunn to play Bane, and they're close friends. And Gunn was like, "No, I'm restarting the whole thing from scratch." Apparently, this is like rumor. I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but it seems to me, despite him having clear biases and keeping people in, like Miller and his girlfriend, but it seems like he's very, very strongly trying to just reset the whole thing, which to the most part I'm actually disagreeing with, because there have been good roles and good actors and they should have kept the good ones, but
Like
whatever.
cutting off Henry Cavill too. I thought
That was
I
the
thought he
biggest
was a-
mistake,
Even The
man.
Rock,
Yeah.
Momoa, don't know why they're getting rid of him. He was a good Aquaman. Gal Gadot, I don't get that decision at all. Like, why would you scrap everything when there are some good parts to pick up and make
It
something
just-
better?
It just doesn't make any sense to me from a casting standpoint, because like everything I've heard is that they're going younger, but they're in some cases, like with Momoa, that he's probably going to be done as Aquaman, but then they're talking to him about Lobo. So it's like, okay, are you either going to cut bait with this whole previous, you know, slate of movies? Are you going to differentiate yourself? Or I don't know. It just feels like the vision's just not there right now. And apparently, we're supposed to be getting like their full, you know, slate of movies for the upcoming like 5 to 10 years by the end of this month. So we got one day left. So we'll see.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know,
certainly.
man. I'm just waiting for James Gunn. Like at that announcement, he's just gonna rickroll everybody and say, "Yeah, I was just fucking around this whole time, and I just fucked up DC and I'm going back to Marvel."
Yeah,
Peace
we're
out,
actually
y'all.
getting bought out again.
Yeah,
Guys, it's all a plot. We're selling the whole thing to like Warner Brothers or something. I don't know. All right, well, getting out of the DC Marvel, phase. Let's talk about something a little bit different. We've kind of been lax on talking about some sports games. Not a whole lot of us play a lot of Madden or 2K games, and I think it'd be interesting, since we have a few people in here today that heavily play those games, to talk about those. And I think a tier list would work pretty well. So
Yeah.
Owen, you can get off with what you guys know.
For sure. So we're going to do a ranking all the Madden games, even though we haven't played them all. So we have never played list. So we'll have to dive through them here. I guess, Owen, how long have you been playing Madden before we start this off?
I'd say, like, I used to play like the I think maybe like the first or second Madden, like back in the 90s, like at our old library. But after that, like since I've been gaming, probably from like Madden 8 or 9 on. And I'd say probably all of my top 5 are going to be from like 2008 to 2012. I think like 2000.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think like the 2012 one was like the really like last great Madden. And then I've talked about this with a lot of people. I feel like every year after that, they kind of just took like every character model and then just updated it for the new one.
I think Madden 20 was like where they really revamped the franchise. 'Cause I feel like you said, like between like 2013 and 2019, it was just the same game every single year.
Yeah.
And then 2020 hit where they did like the superstar abilities, which is basically like, for those of you who haven't played like any of the recent Maddens, it's just like really, you get a superstar ability on like a few different players on your team, and that just like drastically changes how they play. Whether it's like your quarterback, your halfback on the defense side, like edge rushers, or being able to lock down people like corner. But I don't know. I feel like Madden 20 was like the last big update.
Yeah, and then it helps with like your advancement, and you like you level up quicker as far as your different skill trees and everything like that.
For sure. Do you play like the Madden Ultimate Team, or do you play the franchise modes and stuff like that?
Oh man, I'm big on career mode. Like that's my thing.
Okay.
I put in just a stupid amount of time into like, and it's always quarterback. Like I
Yeah.
don't play any other position pretty much. Like I think I'm on 7 straight Super Bowls right now. Like the Jets, this was like the worst franchise I can think of. So sorry to anybody that might be listening that's a Jets fan, but I went to the Jets because they were the worst team, and like I probably wasted like 3 months of my life. And I think that was Madden 22.
Yeah.
I've played a little bit of 23, but
Okay. See if I can zoom in here a little bit so it's easier to see these.
Controversial opinions are welcome. The internet will make fun of you for it, but that's what we want. So.
Okay. So I'm going to start off here.
Go ahead.
Madden 06. Great fucking game. That was the one with Mike Vick.
That was pretty good.
oh yeah, and he was just bonkers and like a cheat code.
No, that was Madden 04. Mike Vick was still really good in Madden 06. But I fucking love Madden 06. I played that on the PC on my dad's computer when I was a kid. And it was so much fun.
I would put the one with Vic, Madden 04. I'd put that one probably decent or great as well, just because if you're getting commercials made about you, I remember they had that like little simulator of like Michael Vick, and it's just that guy getting like run around everywhere. I thought that one was a really good one too.
I feel like we should like at the end choose the greatest Madden ever out of all the great ones. So like let's not get ahead of ourselves and try to rank the greatest Madden ever. But hold on, I'm gonna put all the ones that I haven't played. Madden Football. I don't even know what this one is. I feel like
Those are a lot of the older ones. I mean, Madden 7 I thought was pretty good myself.
I didn't
think
play
I was
95.
back in PlayStation 1.
If you've played any of these, let me know.
These ones are
these
early
like the
90s.
90s ones.
Yeah, if John Madden's on the cover, I probably haven't played it.
Did you play 99 or no?
I think 99 was the one I played on PC.
Okay.
I'd say that one was actually kind of decent.
Okay, I'll put that one in decent. Madden 99. Where did it go? Where'd I put it?
Again, it's like all like super pixelated. Brett Favre looks like a.
That was a decent Madden.
Where did I put 99? Am I
It
blind?
disappeared.
Oh, it's there. Decent. I thought Madden 19 was bad.
Yeah.
I'm putting Madden 20 in great. I thought that was a great fucking game. Okay, then let's go through here. Madden Arcade. Have you ever played this before? I don't even know when this one was.
Nah.
This is like that's got to be probably a mid 2000s one. It's got to see Ocho Cinco on the cover. I haven't played 98. Madden Mobile. We're not even going to rank that. It sucks. It was good for a few years, and then it was really bad because they made it way too much pay to win. Madden 10. What do you think about Madden 10?
I'd say Madden 10 was decent, but not great. I think this is like right around here. 2011 was when I can't remember what engine they started using. But it was like the real physics. So it was like
That's when they switched over to PS3. That was like the PS3, Xbox 360 is when. That's when the shit got real and when it actually started. To get good.
and that's when like you had different tackle variations.
Yep.
and like the
The
movement
hit
was
stick
a lot
tackle, the
better.
clothesline people.
Yeah. I can't remember which one. One of them recently they added like you could pretty much just keep juking, like if you just hit the joystick like a few times. So like before it was just like you could only juke once and then you had to wait and then you could juke again, but you could do like a double juke in one of the recent ones.
I think that was 23.
Yeah.
I think that's 23 that they did that. And I honestly don't even see 23 on here. Where is it? This is an old tier list. That sucks. I like 23 actually. It's not bad. This is 22. I don't know what this is. Madden 25 was like, what was it?
Madden 25, I would say, was one of the better ones in my opinion. I thought it was pretty great Madden. I don't know if you guys played it at all.
Yeah, I played it a little bit, but which one was that like right after?
I feel like it was after 17.
Because that one I don't think
It's 16, 17. I don't think there's an 18. I don't see it. No, Madden 18's right there. When did Madden 25 come out?
2013.
Oh, okay. So that's way older than I thought it was.
So the alternate title on it. So you have Barry Sanders on this one,
Yeah.
and then the other one was Adrian Peterson was on it.
Oh, okay. Yep. Prime era football.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite Maddens. Just to give some of my opinion here, I thought Madden 13 was one of the better ones too, with Calvin Johnson on it. And the last one that I really got into was Madden 16, where I did Ultimate Teams, built up everybody to have like a 90, 93 overall, and I really grinded out the marketplace on there, hitting all action all the time.
Yeah.
That was my last favorite one.
I don't know how everybody feels about Madden 12, but I really like that one. Well, both Madden 12 and 11, I thought they were both like at that great level. 'Cause like I said, I think that's like when the new physics mechanics like came into play and everything.
Yeah.
And I played that like an inordinate amount of time, like I said, just grinding a career. And that was when 12 was like when Peyton Hillis from the Browns had like his huge year, like this
Then-
one great year of his career.
Disappeared
And
off the
somehow
face of the
Madden.
planet.
Yeah, it was the Madden curse.
Yeah. That was like the worst Madden curse I think that's ever existed.
Just went out of the league. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to put Madden 21 in bad. I thought that was just a carbon
Yes.
copy of Madden 20,
100%.
and they literally just updated the overalls, and that is all they did to the game. Nothing else. It was just an overall update. Same abilities, pretty much. I feel like they didn't change any game modes. I think they took out some game modes, actually. I think because they took out Superstar KO for a while in 21, if I remember correctly. I feel like I don't know much around this. Like,
I thought
08 era.
Madden 15 was trash, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, trash.
That one was awful.
I don't know if that's 22 right there at the very
This one's
end.
22. Yeah,
I think that one's pretty decent.
I agree.
I like it's a step up from 21, which, like you said, was really bad, but
Yeah,
like it's not the greatest one that I've played.
Oh,
no, it was playable. They fixed a lot of like the gameplay issues in that one. I forget what the busted like there's like, I feel like in every Madden there's just like one busted gameplay mechanic, and this year in 23 it's aggressive catches where you just throw it high and everyone
So they just
high
auto
point
catch.
it every time.
yeah, exactly. You just moss everybody every time. Doesn't matter. But I forget what it was in 21, but it was just the least fun game. It played super slow. Everyone felt like they were offensive linemen.
Yeah, I feel like every time there's a gameplay issue with Madden, they just over course correct. Because the year before, like the high point catch thing, I feel like I never caught like a contested ball.
No, in Madden 20 it was all about the run game.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Madden 20 was all about the run
ball,
game because
I'll
they
be a
added.
quarterback.
Yeah, Jukebox in Madden 20 was probably the most overpowered thing that's ever existed, and it was so unrealistic because you'd like hop like 4 yards off to the left. It felt like,
yeah.
and you just
And you just see the guy like coming into tackle, you just face plant right behind you.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Well, I know you're talking about the aggressive catches too. I know Madden 16 had the implementation too, where you could choose the
Yeah.
aggressive catch or the safe catch. And that one, every game
Yes.
I played in Ultimate Teams or franchise mode, Hail Mary all the way to the end, just hold wide, and he'd walk up one-handed and roll into the end zone, like 90% of the time.
Again, that was fun, but that's why I don't say it's great. It was decent, like it was a lot
Yeah.
of fun, but like it was not. I don't necessarily want to call Madden simulation football, but it was just so unrealistic to the point where it's like, okay, 50-50 balls feel like 80-20 balls, and there's like no
Yeah.
way that they're stopping it.
Or even in the run game in that, when you'd be running and they'd just be falling off of you half the time, like the arm tackles, they just bounce off you. He's like sidestepping to keep going and then just runs through.
Yeah. Okay, Madden 18. For me, I'm between like bad and decent. I don't know how much you guys. I feel like this is a very forgettable
same.
Madden, but
Same.
Exactly. I'm struggling to remember anything about it.
if it's that bad, I'm just going to put it in bad.
You could put 12 there too.
Yeah,
Am I, oh, actually,
where's Madden 12?
never mind. That's mobile.
Is it? Yeah, it's
Oh,
Madden.
yeah, never mind.
I don't know which one this is. Which one is AB on the cover?
He's on the cover of the two of them because he's up there for Madden 19, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what that one is.
I said Peyton Hillis got hit hardest by the Madden curse. I don't know. AB is he's up there.
Antonio Brown pretty much fell.
Who
I
was
feel like
it
I keep,
on? 7 was a pretty good game.
Yeah, yep.
remember
7 and
some.
9, I'd say, were pretty good.
Yeah.
okay, I'll put those in decent because that's like our good column rather than great. But is this where's 07?
All the way to the right
Oh,
next to
yeah,
Oh,
Antonio.
there it is. Yeah,
Not Sean Alexander on
so
me.
decent. And you said 08.
09 with Favre. Or is that 8?
This is 8 with what's his face? Why can't I think of his name?
Oh, for Tennessee?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't remember his
not
name right
McNair,
now.
is it?
Donovan?
Steve McNair.
Might be Vince Young.
Could be Vince Young. This was like right when I started playing Madden. Because I played Madden 06, and my parents didn't buy me the new Madden every year, so I was just playing Madden 06 till like Madden 10, and I was like perfectly content with that. Like I wasn't pissed about it. So like that's why I don't really know like Madden 07, 08, 09, and I start knowing a little bit more once you get like Madden 10, 11, 12, 13. But did anyone play Madden 2003?
Man, maybe like once or twice, but nothing
Same.
I can remember.
I'm just gonna put Madden 17. I thought that was a bad game, but that's
Yep.
just me.
I thought it was bad too, in my opinion, at least.
Oh, and you got a differing opinion? Decent or bad?
No, I think it's bad.
Okay. I'm going to put 2000 and never played. I can't read it. 2005. Anyone play this one?
With Ray Lewis?
Read this on the cover. I'll take silence as a no.
Yeah, that was like the time where it was like PS2, PS1, and I was like just a kid playing everything, and I never really knew what the hell I was playing.
Dude, I remember playing Madden on like Game Boy. Dude, I had like you couldn't even see the difference between the players. It was just like random model character. I just look back at the screen. I see Connors. I see Obi on the screen. Okay, so I feel like we got a pretty Madden 15's worst Madden ever. That's the only one in trash. So I'm gonna move some of these down here to trash because these are basically all the same. But I guess now the conversation is, which out of these 5 is the greatest Madden ever? I feel like 23 is pretty great, but it's either decent or great. It's one of the two.
Yeah. Personally, I'd say either 4 or 11. I've probably spent the most time playing 22, but that's just because that was the last time I felt like forking out $60 for one of these.
Yeah.
But I don't know, just how like, I don't know. There's some of those like sports games, like what is it, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and like and like games like that where like there's like the one character in the game that's just like crazy OP, and I feel like Mike Vick in that game was just like insane, and it's like people still talk about like him in Madden today. So for me, it'd be either that, or then like I said, I just love the physics mechanic that started I think with 11. And so I put a lot of time into that. So it's got the sentimental value too, because I remember that was like my my post practice for baseball. I'd just get in there and play some football and wish I was playing football instead.
Yeah. No, yeah. So like Madden 23 is like also the new game engine, because that's what they updated like for the Field Sense stuff. If you have a PlayStation 5, it's different between PS4 and PS5. Madden 11 was the PS2 to PS3. Then I feel like 04 might have been PS1 to PS2. Anyway, yes, Michael Vick in Madden 04 is like widely considered the most busted Madden player of all time out of any Madden. So, okay, I don't know if that makes it the greatest Madden ever, but it's definitely one of the most memorable. But I'm down to put it there. I feel like it's the most fun, especially if you're just playing as the Falcons and just running around with Michael Vick and shitting on whoever you're playing against, whether it's the AI or your friend that you're sitting next to. But
I'm sure it depends on what kind of like era of gaming you came from too, because I'm sure there are people that swear by one of the ones with Madden on the cover versus the newer ones.
Oh yeah. Okay. I feel like you can't say that unless you're just talking about the nostalgia, because like the gameplay in those are objectively bad. Like they're just not good. Like you can't even tell which player you're controlling because you can't see the lettering on the back of the jersey.
Oh, that just adds to the charm. It's just like, hey, throw it somewhere over there.
Exactly. There's like not actually any players in the game. It's just player models. But I feel like this is like pretty telling of what Madden is. A lot of decent games, but very few good games and great games. So I don't know. I feel like everybody's kind of just like, I don't want to buy the next Madden because I feel like it's going to be the same thing over and over again. But I don't know, man. I find myself every year just tempted to buy it because I know I'm going to have fun with it, even if it's the same thing as what I bought last year.
Yeah.
They need to bring NCAA football back.
Oh, yeah. That's coming out. Is it end of this year or is it next year now? I feel like they delayed it.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, if you guys hate our tier list, think any of these should be, higher on the list, let us know. If any of them bring back nostalgia from the 90s and early 2000s, let us know where you'd rank them. This is where we put every Madden of all time outside of everything we have played yet. So let us know in the comments.
Yeah, the internet says garbage opinions all around. You all have nothing important to say. And then we can move on to the next thing. But if anyone wondered why I have no opinion on any of those things, because I'm not a big sports guy, but I respect the grind for them. So
I was like, if I talk to you about sports, I don't think you have a single clue what was going on.
No, I got a whole different world I live in.
He's like, I don't even know who's left in the playoffs. It's fine.
Marvel is the through line in our family.
Yes.
Okay, well, if you guys want to, we can move on to some of the other things that are coming out this week that we can talk about if you want to.
Yeah, first let's chat on the game sales, and then we can dive into game of the week. So a few games on sale this week. Battlefront 2, again, I feel like not a widely beloved game because it's been like a lot of pay to win things, especially on the multiplayer side. Right now it's only $5, so if you guys are looking for a fun game to try on the side, that's you guys are bored, I think it's a good option. Same goes for Titanfall 2, currently $3, originally $30. Again, not a widely beloved game, but $3. If you got an extra few bucks to throw out some games that you're bored and want to play, I think $3 is definitely a steal for that. Another game that I came across this week that I thought was really interesting. Have you guys ever heard of Kenshi?
Yeah, I know
No.
what it is.
I've never heard of this game before, but I was looking into it and it was widely beloved. I thought it was super interesting. It almost looked like a lo-fi Mountain Blade in terms of like a squad-based survival game. And it's a free roaming squad-based RPG. So you basically like get a squad, they all suck and they're basically peasants, and then you have to like train them up to become warriors, and you kind of go on and kind of lead them in your survival open sandbox world.
It's a crazy game. I don't think I've seen anything like it in past years. It's an RPG game with that team-based aspect you were talking about,
Yeah.
but it's extreme. It's like to the crazy amount. It's super difficult a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Because you literally start with nothing. Your characters can die permanently and very easily. Like, they can get crippled if you get hurt too much. They're like roving slave bands that will like enslave your character, and then your character is literally just stuck there in a slave pen. And you just, if you guys have ever seen General Sam at all, that he's a relatively big YouTuber. I love his content, but he made a thing where he was going to try and get like enslaved like right at the beginning and see if he could do anything for like days on. He literally just left it on for days to see if his guy could pick himself up, and it was just sitting there for like 4 days just doing nothing.
Okay, well, if you guys are up for that type of gaming experience and you're looking for a challenge, Kenshi's only $13 right now. It's originally 30, so again, really good deal. There's 50,000 total reviews on Steam, all of them overwhelmingly positive. So again, if you have some time, give it a playthrough. Curious to see what you guys think. Definitely one that's on my list to give it a shot over the next few months. And then also FIFA 23 is also on sale for $28, originally $70. So I feel like FIFA is also kind of a cult following, similar to Madden in that sports genre. But if you've been late and you are still looking to pick up the latest FIFA, it is on sale right now, so now's the time to take advantage of it. I feel like these games don't go on sale for much less than 20 to $30. So
just take into account that you also have to buy all the cards and stuff to get anywhere.
That's at least on like the multiplayer version. You can still create your own character and do your own career stuff, and you don't have to pay money for that. I don't believe. I haven't played 23, but I would assume that's still the case. I'd be kind of pissed off if they did that. But yeah, if you want to play like the Ultimate Team version on FIFA, get ready to shell out hundreds of bucks on those stupid packs. So.
Yeah, the only soccer player I know is Messi.
That sounds about right. But now I'll hand it off to you guys, Connor and Curtis, to chat about Dead Space, which just came out this week, and everybody's pretty excited about.
Yeah, Curtis, you want to head it off?
Sure. We put it in our newsletter last week. It came out on the 27th. So far, it's actually getting some pretty good reviews, which is nice to see. I played the original Dead Space back in, I believe it was like 2007 or 2008 when it came out. Really cool horror, third-person shooter game. A lot of jump scares. It's a very cool game to play, and it's nice to see a remake come out, which is kind of a controversial opinion, but the remake itself, I thought, stayed true to the original story. I watched some videos on it so far, and it seems like it's doing pretty good. On another side note, it seems that although there's people that are very positive with the game, there's kind of like a side community that are like, hey, you could have been spending all this time and effort on making a new Dead Space instead of just remaking the old one. So there's people that are kind of pissed off in that, but for me, I'm happy with it. It's nice to see a game that actually comes out finished and isn't a buggy shit show that nobody can play. Compared to that, I don't know if Connor has too much to say about it, but another thing I wanted to mention, coming up soon, we have Sons of the Forest. We don't have a definite release date on that, but it comes out sometime in February. I know Noah's excited for that too. Another thing I'm looking forward to is Hogwarts Legacy, which comes out as well in a couple weeks. So I'll kick it off to Connor if he has anything else to say, but that's kind of where I'm looking at.
Yeah, I did actually have a few interesting tidbits on Dead Space. Starters, caveat, I never actually played through most of them. I did watch through most of them because I couldn't play them because they scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. So they're like one of the only games that truly terrified me.
They were very, very cool games in the beginning. Almost not like Doom, but they had like a lot of jump scares and just that horror aspect to it that made it pretty cool.
Yeah, and I haven't seen much about the remake. I have seen good positive reviews of it, but I think if it's done right, it can actually be a pretty big boost in a return to that feel of the old days, just like what Resident Evil did with their Village series, and what was the first remake that they did?
I think
Town? No, it was Town and then Village, right?
I think so, yeah. But then they've been remaking the series too, where they did Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah.
So they're working on another one right now too.
Yeah, so I think if you do them like those have been, I know there's like one that was kind of like iffy with Resident Evil remakes, but
yeah,
most of them have been
that was
really
3.
quality. Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
So if you can do it like that with Dead Space, it's whatever. I think if you do it good, people are going to love it because they get to play an old game. Just add a few new things here and there. Another tidbit, though, I remember hearing that Dead Space 3 was one of the first games to really introduce monetized progression of the story, or like benefits within the story. I never knew this because I never played it back in the day, but you used to be able to buy the guns and ammo for the guns at the stores that you would like get checkpoints in Dead Space 3, which I never knew. I thought, like, I never even thought about that being like one of the progenitors of monetization, but
They ruined it for everyone.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say, I was like, that seems a little fucked up, but at the same time, it's like you don't need it. It's just like kind of a bonus add-on thing. Like, I feel like it's so unnecessary to do that.
Okay, well, think about it this way: you're in one of the most terrifying games of that time, and you have to buy the ammo. So the ammo is super scarce, so you can't kill half of those things without a ton of ammo, and they're selling it to you for currency.
I guess I never played through the Dead Space game. Is the goal? I feel like the goal when I watched it was like kind of like sneak around things and not necessarily try to kill everything. Or is that not the case?
Well, that was impossible most of the time. Most of the time, they're jump scares. So, like, all of a sudden, you're stuck in a room with a gigantic thing that wants to tear your head off.
Yeah.
Well, your guy is just a worker on this ship, and he's just got like this little plasma cutter that he's using as a weapon. It's just like, I gotta fight undead, like zombie alien creatures with this little plasma cutter. Are you joking?
Yeah, and then you'd cut the creatures in half, and then the both of them would start crawling after you.
Yeah.
So obviously you need way better ammo to just deal with stuff rather than just like this little tiny bolt cutter that they give you.
They didn't do that in this game, did they? Though, or do they bring
I don't
back
know.
that monetization?
Have you heard anything about that, Curtis? I wouldn't think so with the reviews.
There was a little bit on it. I saw something where they added some new weapons for it, but they still had the original plasma cutter included. Still, people are liking it so far. I haven't seen too much on it, but there are a couple new guns, I believe.
Okay.
I did see a little conversation on it. It was just like reigniting the debate of what weapon do you power up first. And it's just like, you guys are still talking about this, huh?
Did it change from the old days, or is it still the same?
Nah, everybody has their personal favorite, but like the overwhelming consensus is just upgrade the plasma cutter because it's just the cheapest option, and it's the most effective and versatile too. So can't go wrong.
How much is Dead Space? Is it $60 or?
Yeah,
is it,
it's 60.
I was like, are they going to go on this whole $70 game spree like everybody else is, or?
I don't
Okay,
agree
but-
with remakes being $60, to be honest.
No,
I
I
think
don't
they
either.
should be like 40 at most.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody know if they did that for The Witcher too? Because I know they just remastered The Witcher too.
There was a free update,
Really?
completely free. If you had it on PlayStation 4 and you download it on your PS5, you can automatically upgrade to the PS5 version for free. Because I just did that. I have it on my PlayStation, waiting to play it. So, have you played through The Witcher 3 or?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Great.
Yeah, it's top 5 game for me. Have you played through all the DLC as well?
Most of it, but yeah, I agree. That's one of like probably top 5.
So good.
Yeah, I'll have to play through that on my PS5. I'm looking on Steam too, just to make sure, because I know for PS5 it was a free next-gen update, but for Steam too, it says the next gen update is free for The Witcher. So
Have you played through
actually kinda nice.
Shadows of the Colossus yet?
No, I haven't.
You need to do that first.
Great.
I got so many games on backlog. I don't know what to play.
So he's got like 100 games on backlog. He's got so many games. It's ridiculous.
It is hard, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I see him, and I'm like, dude, this is a really good deal for this game. I buy it, and then next thing you know, I buy another and buy another one, and then I got the whole. I got Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West. I got Shadows of the Colossus, the Ratchet and Clank, the new Ratchet and Clank, Crash Bandicoot, and then it just backs up
And
everything.
you end up
and then
playing
I don't-
Assassin's Creed over and over again.
Yeah, I played Black Flag over and over again, and then
Oh,
I haven't
man.
even played Valhalla. Haven't played Odyssey yet.
I spent way too much time on Black Flag.
Yeah,
I
one of
just
my
kept
favorite
on-
games.
Kept on trying to attack the legendary ships in the corners
Yep,
and never won.
very cool.
I think that's a pretty good place to wrap up with Curtis's obsession of buying games that he won't ever play. So,
Oh, hey, actually, I have something
okay.
relevant to this.
okay.
Okay, just so everybody knows in the podcast, I'm going to keep doing this. I love doing it. I'm going to keep linking out people in YouTube and stuff like that I watch because I think it's really good to grow a community. Daryl Talks Games. He's a big YouTuber. You should see a video he's got. It's called A Misguided Guide to Finishing Your Gaming Backlog. I think that might help you.
I'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah, it talks about like the psychology of having like that backlog and how it is kind of stressful because you can't play some of the games that you want to, and because you never make a plan to actually do it, it just kind of sits in the back of your mind worrying you all the time.
Yeah, I mean, just not to get off topic or anything, but I don't ever feel excited to play a game since I have all of them. They're just waiting there for me, and I can't pick one. And then I don't have like that excitement of like, man, I'm really excited to play this game because I finally have time to play it. Kind of defeats the purpose.
Something he mentions in there is what he tried to do was basically write down all the games that he wanted to play within 1 year's time. So he just wrote it down. He's like, I'm going to play these games within 1 year's time, start to finish. He doesn't have to like 100% it if he doesn't like it. He'll just like drop it if he doesn't like it. But he's just having that plan in place and trying to like do those is like a big stress reliever type thing because you don't have that constantly on your mind.
I feel like that's like
Yeah.
the same thing as like a book log, or they're like, I want to read X
Yeah.
amount of books in a year.
He does a
Right.
good job of kind of showing you the psychology of what's going on, why you don't feel like you want to play those games ever.
At that
Definitely
point,
check
you
it out,
have
it's
to
cool.
draws.
Yeah.
All right.
Does anybody else have anything? Or I think we've gone through a lot today. It's been really, really interesting to hear what everybody has to say.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks everybody for joining us this week on the podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already, and turn that bell on for notifications. If you guys don't have time to watch a full hour podcast, follow us on our Instagram or our TikTok, or on our our YouTube. We do post shorter clips, in 1 minute little bits. So if you're ever looking for a little bit more bite-sized version of the podcast, make sure you give us a follow there and just stay tuned throughout the week. And we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace out.
Go on. Peace out, guys.